Hey there, marketers, sales pros, and everyone in between. Welcome to another episode of the Allbound Revolution, where we make sales and marketing speak the same language. Let's get into it. Today we are joined by two experts, and don't let them fool you with their innocent looks. They know exactly how to build a cold outreach that guesses what you had for breakfast. Behind Allbound Plays for Partners and ourselves, Sergio Gutiérrez, Allbound Strategist at RP, Clay and LinkedIn at Master, and world traveler from Madrid to Buenos Aires. Hello, Sergio.
Hi, Tam.
And here we have Diandra Fabro, Queen of Demand Gen at Rev Partners, HubSpot sorceress with over 20 HubSpot certs, and best nail do champion in the whole wild world. Hello, Dee. Okay, so let's get into it and have a good conversation. Today, our topic is outbound tools that actually work, and we're going to talk about Clay, RB2B, and Octave. So, I'd like to start talking about what is outbound marketing and why is it harder than ever in 2025. Do you want to take a chance?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so outbound marketing is basically a strategy that involves proactively reaching out to potential customers, to prospects through emails, calls, and now LinkedIn messaging. And that strategy, it takes like this proactive approach. So with this strategy, you don't need to wait until this prospect or potential customer takes any action. That opposite strategy would be something referred to inbound strategy. So for me, that's the definition. And why is it harder in 2025? I think that it can be due to three different things. I think that the first one is that the email providers are harder to reach. So they are improving their spamming filters and their blocking filters and all this stuff. So for us, it is harder to find ways and also find tools that actually can help us to land these emails in the inbox of the prospect that we want to reach out. Also, outbound has been here for a lot of years, but I think that also the use of AI has, I believe, increased the volume of outreach that we can do, that companies can do. So I think that we also have like this. So in advertising, there's a concept called ad fatigue, and I think that for outbound, we are start to having inbox fatigue, that we can see it ourselves. Our inbox are flooded with emails from e-commerce brands that want to sell tools, like whatever. So we saw like a random email in our inbox, and most of the times I click in the email, mark as open, because I don't like to have a ton of notifications. That's on me. But I don't even read the messaging. So I think that we are like exhausted with the huge amount of emails that we receive in our inboxes. And the third one, I think that, and it is related to what I was saying, that it is that I don't read emails. So what I expect as a B2B buyer, because at the end, I'm also a buyer. So what I expect from communication, brand communications, sales communications, marketing communications, what I expect is a messaging, a text that actually speaks to me. Mm-hmm. And that when I read it, I can say like, hey, I think that someone, like a friend, texted me. This person really knows about me and really knows about my pain points, what I want to accomplish in my company. So this messaging is actually for me, and I'm not part of a 1,000 list of contacts that blast like these 1,000 personalized emails. So I think that that's why it's harder today.
Yeah.
But I leave it there.
Yeah, I love it. I think a lot of marketers will be screaming because you open the emails and don't read it, because that means open rates are alive.
I'm inflating their open rate, but I'm tanking the reply rate.
Okay, that's super funny. I agree, like similarly with Sergio, but for me it's like what is GTM, what is Allbound? I feel like that's like inbound and outbound come together. They had this beautiful little baby, you know. Basically it's like all your efforts that you do in inbound, all those blogs, all those LinkedIn posts, everything that you're doing, Allbound bubbles up those contacts with all the great information and like with AI researchers to like help you craft like the perfect message that could go out. And like let's be clear, a lot of people are using this not in the best way either. I'm pretty sure we've all gotten those really bad AI emails. It's just like they're almost there, but they're not fully there because they need to fix like how these emails are going out or these LinkedIn messages are going out.
Mm-hmm.
Why I feel like everything is so much harder, like similar to Sergio said, like everyone is like the gates argue have more chains. That's the way I see it. Like Google is stricter. LinkedIn has a lot of restrictions as well of what you could send. So we have gotten more creative. Our messages are not, I want to say ugly. Our messages are friendly. Our messages are conversational. And so are our emails, because that's technically how you get in with people and very personalized and speaks to them and their use case. And additionally, we look into other channels as well, which is only possible because of Alba.
Definitely. I think that this speaks a lot into the next question I have. Like, how has AI changed outbound prospecting? I mean, you've discussed it, but I'd like to go deeper, D. Like, how has it changed and what are the biggest gains you are identifying there?
It has changed absolutely everything. Messages are worse that I've gotten on LinkedIn. They were already, like some of those that I get from people have already been bad. So now some of them are even worse. But then I've also seen some in how people have used them really well. And AI gives you the opportunity to find out more than just the surface level things. So more than just like, oh, your title fits what I like and your company revenue if it's my ICP. It gives you beyond that. It could tell you, like you said, like what the person had for breakfast. Not technically, but like it could figure out what they posted recently and tells you about the recent post that they had and information about that. It could tell you any maybe a recent blog that they just wrote and get you information about that. And you could tell the AI, hey, like give me some snippet of information from these things that could help me start a conversation. Additionally, a huge way our sales team use it is just for research. Like it gets them beyond, again, the surface level research that then they could prepare for their sales calls and prepare like good messages to these people that speak to them.
Definitely. I love it. It's like AI is a magnifier of what you can do wrong or right. Like it becomes bigger and it really depends on how you use it. I'm loving this insight, but I think our audience will want to see the tools in action because there are so many tools out there and we really don't know how to do it. Maybe we do, or we think it's really complicated. So I don't know, Sergio, if you'd like to go into one of these tools and show us how these tools actually fit into an outbound strategy.
Sure. So here in RP, we realized that there's like a great combination, a great combo using RB2B or vector to identify website visitors, and also pushing that information into Clay. And in Clay, basically, you can do mostly whatever you want. But also, we are using a lot Octave. So Octave also has multiple use cases. The main ones that we are using in RP is to enrich the person and the company, and also to generate automated email copy for email sequences. So this is a clay table. This is an example of a clay table that combines these three different tools that I mentioned. I can give you a brief description of what this is. This is working. I hit some columns for personal information, but as you can see here, the first column is basically pulling the information from RB2B and also vector. Also here, a comment here regarding vector is that we have identified that Vector reveals on average 10% more profiles than RB2B, and that also Vector has a higher match rate between contacts and companies. We can say that Vector has more information and more accurate information between the contact and actually the company where this contact works. So
it's like you install a code in the website, and this makes that everyone that goes into your website, like it gets that data and then you put it into Clay. Is that how it works?
RB2B and Vector, it works by installing a pixel in the header of your website. These bots have different like restrictions. They only fire for US based people. RB2B and Vector won't be able to reveal LinkedIn profiles outside of the US. Probably, if your company has a lot of website traffic coming outside of the US, this might not be. At least you won't have, or you won't be seeing like a lot of volume for these revealed profiles.
Yeah.
So basically, yes, that's you install a pixel, and then via webhook pull the information from RB2B and or Vector into a Clay table.
The reason for why it only pulls for US companies is simply because of, like he said, the restrictions inside of other companies. You have to think GDPR, right? And if you're a company outside of the US or you work with people outside of US, you can't use RB2B, you can't use Vector, but what you can use HubSpot Insights, you can use Common Room. They won't give you contact level like RB2B and Vector, but they will give you company level insights. So I just wanted to quickly add that because I think anyone who's outside of the US would love to hear that, hey, there is something out there.
Sergio, in Mexico, is it legal or it is?
I feel like it is because I've seen
yeah.
it pulled up. I think it's like North America type of thing.
Just also on top of that, on average, these tools will be revealing between 20% and 30% of the US based website traffic of your website. So I'm gonna describe this basic table that leverages these three tools that we mentioned. We'll be getting information at the contact level. You can get the name, the first name, the last name. For RB2B, you can get the email if you have the paid version. For Vector, there's also a thing there with Vector. For the free plan, you'll be revealing the LinkedIn profiles, but you won't be getting the emails. So that's it. We have like these extra validation columns. Like for example, we add this one to validate that the email provided by RB2B is actually a valid one. In case that in some cases you'll be getting these profiles, but you won't be getting the company domains. So we run like this enrichment using Clearbit, and then this is Octave. So with Octave, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are using three different use cases. This is the first one that I mentioned, that it is enriched person. So with Octave, we can actually qualify if this profile is actually a good fit or not for your business or for a specific line of business of a company. They have like this criteria, and this is a new one that they recently launched. That is, the criteria is the person match confidence level. It is basically on a scale from low, medium, or high. In this case, we are only considering qualified prospects or leads from medium to high. So once Octave runs this qualification process, then we again use Octave, but now to generate the copy. So Octave, what we'll do is they will use the company domain, the LinkedIn profile of this person, the first name of this contact, the job title, and between 3 and 4 different emails. So basically, Octave will auto-generate this copy, analyzing the information from the prospect, from their company, and contrasting them with the information of the company or the business that you want to sell them. They do that, like this matching of their interest with the services that we are offering to them, or the products that we are offering to them. And then we use Smartlead as the email sequencer of our choice, and we are pushing them into specific sequences. And then this is another example that you can actually do, is that, okay, you already confirmed that this website visitor is actually a good fit for your business or for your product. Why don't you leverage that information and source lookalikes from that prospect? So what we are doing here is basically sourcing lookalikes from these qualified prospects, just to expand the reach that we are having with this campaign. And then the process will start over again with these lookalike companies. We enrich, we qualify them at the company level, or if not, we can source contacts working at those companies that match our buyer personas, and then start the process all over again with Octave and their generating email agent. So that's like the overall of how this Clay table works, and how we are using these 3 different tools, that it is RB2B and or Vector, Octave, and well, in this case, we are using a Smartlead for the email sequencer.
I love it. It's like getting the data and actually making a very specific hairdo with that data. Like you're like getting each and every part and directing it into a different way. I really liked the workflow. It was very, very thorough. And I must say, if you don't follow Dee and Sergio in LinkedIn, please go and do it, because they're sharing these tips all the time in their profiles.
If people want to reach out, we can share some of the templates that we have built, and so they can start running them in their workspaces.
Like the one Sergio shared was like a very quick run through of like how you could do it. Our actual RP table is like a crazy monster.
Yeah, that's why I didn't show it, but because it has like 100 columns and qualification.
Yeah, so our RP table, maybe what we can share is how the workflow looks in the workbook rather than the entire table. I think everyone would love to see that, because, and the reason why I mention it is because yes, we have this like quick run of like how all the tools work, but that gives you an idea of like, we're thinking beyond just, okay, we got website visitors. We're thinking who's a fit for our products. We have like 4 to 5 products, and we separate those website visitors based on what it's probably gonna be best for them. And then that's how that Clay table and infrastructure is built.
Actually, another comment regarding that table that we're using for RP is that also we are running a lot of lookups. That is basically looking for exclusions, to have exclusions, because we don't want to step in our own toes.
Exactly.
By reaching out to the same people, or maybe reaching out to a customer. Yeah, exactly. So we are running like a lot of exclusions there. Yeah, and that's
we do.
the map.
So like if you look at it here, right, there's 61 columns. Let's just give you an idea. Like there's 61 columns that are in our core master table. Okay, guys, and they're all writing to these different things. So like if they're a VCPE or finance company, they get a completely different message. They get something completely different. If they're a fast track person, they get something else again. And what Sergio didn't get the chance to mention was that in Octave, what makes it so different is that it uses playbooks that are gonna talk to the person based on your product and based why they're a fit, and be super specific to that. So it's gonna be specific to like why they're gonna benefit because of like everything else that this, like all the company metrics, and why they should probably have it. And again, see, we have like HubSpotters, and I think these first 2 here are automatic. HubSpotters, because we love HubSpot. they get a manual message. So that also tells you guys like, hey, we don't have to automate everything. You can automate some and you could do some that are manual. We have a manual process. And that is also same for anyone who is like someone in RevOps who fit our RevOps ICP. They get manual outreach as opposed to automated outreach.
Yeah, I like that. I like that human touch, which is always part of the AI discussion, right? You gotta balance it out or you lose.
Exactly.
And in terms of targeting, I think these tools can help and also make it harder. What's one way in which these tools have helped improve targeting for RP?
Well, definitely with the fact that how it enriches data and like what it could find out for a company for me. Like a lot of tools miss something, right? They miss something. They either like give you, they won't give you like all the revenue, right? They'll give you some, maybe not all of them. They maybe give you employees, they maybe don't. So it's depending who you're using. Like if you're a fan of Sales Navigator, you will not get revenue. You could get employee count, but you won't get revenue. And that could suck. And it's sometimes clunky and not as specific. When Clay like gives you everybody, like you want to use every tool, any tool, it will give you those tools in one table. And especially if you're looking for emails, like I don't know any email provider that gives you everything. But now I could do a waterfall with like 10 different email providers if I wanted to, and it will just book check each of them and give me the verified one. So like I could check all of them at one time. That's basically what it's doing. And in one crazy cracked out spreadsheet. And I love that.
I love how passionate you both are about this because I think we were so limited before this, and this has opened a whole new world for marketers. And I feel it's that moment.
The
And
passion is the love for data. Isn't that sort of what you would call it, sir? You want clean on more data. I was like,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. And also
wow.
what I really like of this is that, and I was talking to this week of this, that it is that there are like multiple ways to achieve the same outcome that you're trying to get. So every new day you learn something on how to get or how to use Clay to get something. So it can be something so basic, but yeah, I think that, so I've been using Clay for a while, but there's always new use cases, new ways to do something, new integrations to
A new
Clay.
process, a new way to update. It's just great. And like Sergio said, it's so cool too. Like he said, like you learn something new and you learn a new way to do something because there's like 100 and maybe thousands of ways to do it. And it just shows like how customizable Clay can be for like any business. Like I feel like anyone, if you're doing anything, you need to have at least Clay. Like Clay is like talks to everyone.
Exactly.
Like it honors its name. Like it's literally clay, and you can
Yeah,
play.
Yes. Oh my God, that's amazing.
maybe
I
that's the
never
reason of the
actually
name.
made it.
Yeah,
Right?
we
That
we
probably
should
is why.
we should ask.
Yeah, we can definitely ask them.
Mold it into what you want, right?
Yeah, and it's this playful sensation. Like you can learn how to do new things, and it's a lot of creativity. You're working with data, but I see two very creative brains right in front of me right now. Like you're like thinking in many ways, and that's amazing. Sergio, what's the biggest myth about cold outreach today?
I think that the so it is more important the quality of your company and contacts list than the volume of the emails that you're sending. You can send thousands of emails per day, but if your source of information that it is a contact list is trash, you get nowhere. So the myth is that outbound is a numbers game, I'd say.
I love that. And would you say you can measure that quality with responses to those emails?
Yeah, that's one way. And while you are building this list, there's also a ton of ways inside Clay that you can actually validate and be more informed and tell if this contact or company is actually a good fit for it. And also if actually the information that you're getting is the real one, the real emails, validate them, that they work, that they are being used by people by this contact. So there are multiple ways in that you can be sure that what you are doing is actually valid or accurate.
Okay, I love it. And I'm gonna shoot another part because this one is really important for me, and I guess for all of us, like the ethical part of intent data tools. Like, is it okay to collect this data, and when does it stop being okay?
I feel like if it's out there, it's ethical. We're in like a world where we post everything we're doing and everything is out there because of like transparency. And honestly, all the brands that are doing well are brands that are incredibly open with what's happening inside of a company, what their people are doing, right? So I feel like it's simply just ethical once it's out there. Like if you of course if you have to like be sneaky in getting something, then it's not. And it's also how you use the data. Like if you're using these the data to like reach out to people in like just not a great way, like too self-serving, then you're not really being like I don't know, you're being icky. You know what I mean? Like you're not doing it, you're also not doing it right, but then you're being icky with the data. That's the way I see it. Like it's ethical because it's out there, but if you can make it unethical in how you're using it.
Hmm. No, totally. Yeah, totally agree. I like to see it that way. Thank you. Okay, so I think we're on the mark, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining. I feel like I want to make a second episode on outbound and validation and look at the monster table you have built for RP. But for the moment, I'm just going to share a quote of Dr. Seuss. Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple. This time I think the questions are simple and the answers have become complicated. I don't know. But anyway, I loved it. Thank you so much. I found it super valuable. I hope the audience did too. And I hope you had fun reaching into your own brains for this thing you do every day. I'll see you on the next episode and thank you so much. Bye bye.